the wide variety. The folks here at this regatta really are showcasing all levels of rowing, single sculling, sweep rowing, and then all the way up to a race that's coming up in about, 6 minutes, and that is women's national team level racing.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be starting here just in 5 minutes.
And here you go on the screen. You can see this is the Lenny Peters Cup Women's Single, USA versus the world. And I am fired up because I am excited to see both Lauren O'Connor and Tabea have returned from racing over at World Championships this year.
That's right.
And then, Kateryna is going to represent the Ukraine, and I think last year she talked about what a privilege and how proud she is to be able to do that. So this right here is for me. Over at Henley, we do a ones to watch. This is the one to watch. Right
I'm anxious here. I'm getting excited for the starting line here. And it's so important for the folks here that are going to watch this. Watch the quality of rowing, right? See what the world what these athletes representing the world rowing. Now, I wish I had this in front of me right now, but how well did Lauren do this year at the World Championships?
I believe that she was either 9th or 10th. She was pardon me. She was 9th in the quad in 2004.
Okay.
In Paris, France, and she was 10th this year in the women's single.
That's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Keel.
Yeah, I like to say that racing in the single is this weird thing because you have this group where it can interchange, right? Like that top 7 or 8 can be in the final. Sometimes there's you have powerhouses for men for Ali Zeidler or something like that
Sure.
are winning constantly, but you do have this group of people that are really close.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see here how this race shakes down. Tabea from Germany Tabea from Germany. She'll have a hat on. That's a sort of to be able to recognize. We'll see. Lauren, maybe she'll be sporting the stars and stripes. We'll see.
I sure hope so.
And then we'll have Kateryna from the Ukraine as well. And she raced the Lenny Peters Cup last year. So we'll see.
Well, so we watch the men's youth singles coming down, and these guys maybe have a year or two under their belt. But now you have folks here that this is their career. I mean, this is their path. So going back to how you compete, this really is a big head game here, right?
Yeah.
Because I think probably physiologically they're all pretty close to the same, right? To be at this kind of level, and then it's really going to come down to how well they race in their own head, how they compete inside their boat. But there's I don't know how much gamesmanship goes into this, considering that they have this much experience.
Yeah, what I like to say about racing at this level is you cannot count on anyone to give up, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no one's going to give it to you, right?
No.
So this is where your race plan is extremely important. Any type of sort of inch you can take on your competitor to sort of just get into their head psychologically.
Sure.
They're going to fight back.
Oh, yeah,
but you want to just take the shots where you can. And so racing becomes a little bit different here because I like to talk about there's tactics and strategy. Your strategy is your race plan, right? Mm-hmm. But what happens? Oh, someone catches a bobble. Can you capitalize on that? That's a tactic.
Yeah.
You have to react. You have to say, all right, I'm taking a 10 here. I'm going to move. But they have 4,800 meters, and that's a long race, right?
How much do they know about each other, right? So you go into competition, and if you've been racing against each other for a while, you tend to know what to expect.
Yeah.
How much of that goes into it? How much goes into them understanding who they're racing?
Well, I think Tabea and Lauren probably know each other fairly well. Mm-hmm. And I was out the other day. I saw them. They were going out to practice together.
Okay. Yeah.
I haven't had the chance to speak with Kateryna, but I know that she has just been balancing this career and her training, and so we'll sort of see how that's progressing. I think in this race.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, like, how much, how much do they know about each other? Because when you get into it and you say, let's say Lauren, she knows, right? She's, well, they're going to take a 3-boat length lead, and it's that calmness. It's like, how do you manage that? And I'm excited to see really what that first start looks. I think we're going to learn a lot about that race in the first 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah,
and we should be coming up to the starting line here now.
Yeah, and you know what is interesting about this is that here we go. We are on the starting line. You can see, I think we have Germany over here on the right-hand side of your screen.
U.S. in the middle.
U.S. and Ukraine. And you can see them getting ready to line up. This is a floating start, so everyone's getting ready. Maybe a little scooch, a little.
Well, I was going to ask. Scooch. I was like, what would you do? Would you like shoot a little bit?
Take a little scooch. You take a little inch, and that's sort of how it goes.
About 10 seconds till start.
Yeah.
You just, I don't know. I feel the pressure, Akil. I feel like I want to quiet. I want to get really quiet right now. I feel the pressure.
Right. Yeah. Just, something. And we are off and racing. You can see
Lauren
the USA, Lauren with a quick start there. We have experience in Germany. She's not going to be rattled. She has years of experience racing at that top level. We have the Ukrainian rower, Kateryna, hanging on there. And as you said, we'll see how this shakes out in the first 2 minutes. Lauren shot out of there pretty quickly. We go back to, like, how much do you want to keep in the tank, right? Yeah.
And it seems like that move is that I need the lead. I want it. This is America. I'm here. This is my course. You can't beat me.
Yeah.
And she's established that quick 1-length lead. I got to say, Germany is not that far off. Now, at this point, 50 seconds in, almost a minute in, what happens? You still get down to that base rhythm, right?
Well, this is the question, right? Like, do you keep going? If you're Lauren, do you keep going? You got to remember, there's money on the line here. This is not just like, bragging rights. This is for pay my rent and eat my dinner. Like, you can see right there. Lauren is not slowing down yet. She's like, I am going to put myself in a position where I can control this race. But as I said, Tabea, she is a seasoned rower, a seasoned athlete, many accolades to her name. Yeah. I don't think she's going to be rattled by Lauren's quick start.
I'm just go back to when you were racing and stuff. Like, it's because you do it so much, right? You know your body, you know your boat, you know the water. I get it. She's not going to get rattled. But Lauren, the rhythm is still up on Lauren, right? If you notice the stroke rate difference, there's probably about, 34 strokes a minute to probably 31. Yeah. That's a huge difference in single sculling.
Right. Now, the interesting part, I think, that might play a little bit into this is that Tabea was actually in the 8 over at World Championships in Shanghai.
Oh, wow.
So it'll be interesting to see how much sculling she's been doing since then and what impact that is going to play. Now, physiologically, as you said, these athletes are all training at a high level.
They're very close.
Very experienced, very close. So now what it's going to come down to, you can see Lauren and Tabea have pulled away. Kateryna still has the opportunity, like you can't let them get too far away. But you can see these two are battling. And as I said, I'm going back now and wondering what they were doing when they went out to train together yesterday. Were they doing pieces? Were they just out for a light little paddle? Was there some gamesmanship going on? Let's do a power piece and someone's holding back.
Yeah,
but
right.
those are the type of intrigues like now. But I think that they do have a friendship. And as we were talking about knowing who are you competing against, Lauren is not going to discount the strength and ability of Tabea.
Well, so Lauren, she's keeping that rhythm up right now, but there's only, about 1.5 foot of water open.
Yeah.
You got to be, I'm thinking, like, in my head, why isn't she going away? Why isn't she going away? She's probably like, how do I break this girl? How do I break her? How do I break her? And that is, I know these are things that she thinks about and these athletes think about all the time.
Yeah.
They're putting everything they have at it. You're getting a little bit late. You're starting to inch back, like every stroke gaining an extra inch or two. But look how much more relaxed the German is right now.
Yeah.
It's almost like she's got something in her bag that Lauren might not know.
Well, we'll see, because as I said, Lauren continues. She looks very good right now. She looks very relaxed. And I think that coming off of rowing at World Championships, having been in the boat, being comfortable, we'll see the impact of that on Tabea, having crossed over to row in that sweep boat, Now, for those who don't know about the difference between sweep and sculling, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Alex?
Oh, man, so sweep. I liken it to like a big it's just more powerful. I think you have one oar, right? So your inside arm sits outside closer to the rigger. You have your outside as a lever. Okay, you have one oar. They tend, and especially in eights, it's a lot more of a power punch. You have the aggressiveness on the front end. It's a lot faster. In sculling, 2 oars, 2 hands. You got to spend a lot more time balancing that boat. But I want to just point this out. Lauren is putting on a clinic for every single sculler and every sculler here at this beautiful event. Look at what she's doing. Try to mimic that. Growing up, I always wanted to be a basketball player, and I would just watch Michael Jordan and be like, how can I be like that guy? Well, if you want to be a single sculler, if you want to race here at a high level, look at what Lauren's doing. Controlled hands, smooth. She looks really balanced. Her shoulders are down, relaxed. Especially in sculling, what happens? You get tight, shoulders go up, right? Hands get tight, forearms get tight. And she's showing us right here how do you actually do it.
Yeah, and she's very relaxed now. You can see she may have brought the rhythm down, the rating down just a bit, but it still continues to be higher than the German. And right now she has established a very strong lead. And, I think that, we can sit here and wonder and make conjectures about sort of what's going on in the head of the other athletes. But right now you got to be thinking that they've got to find something right now to be able to make a move.
5.5 minutes in, this is probably going to be 17, 16-minute race for them, right? So not quite halfway.
Yeah.
But going back, we've been saying this whole time. You have that kind of a lead, you take a breath, and then you just keep on building on that lead. But again, these are not junior athletes that have been doing this for a year or two. I don't know. Maybe we're going to wait to see, especially at that turn, if the German can come back and take control. Tabea can take control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because she's still not letting her go. We talked about it earlier.
No,
how far is too far?
There.
It's not far enough. She's okay.
That, in my mind, is not far enough right now. And there you go again. Lauren looking very strong, rowing very well.
Yeah, what do you see? What do you think? What is she doing great right now? What do you see?
Well, right now what she's doing is there was great rhythm, great ratio, just very relaxed. What I like to say about sculling, especially in the single scull, is that you need to be efficient. And so you don't want to have any extra movements. And right now you can see there's a shot. Kateryna, still working very hard to sort of stay in this and do what she can.
You said this earlier. I want to bring this up. Rowers are a fascinating bunch. Even when we're behind, we don't stop.
Yeah.
Right? And you just saw that with the other 2 single scullers.
Yeah.
They know that they're behind. They know they're not winning right now, and they're still throwing everything. They're throwing the kitchen sink at it, and they always have that sense like, I can still get this. I can still win.
Yeah.
And I think that's an attribute that rowers, we all share. We all feel like we're never behind, even though we can't see a darn thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to get this. I can still win. I can still win.
Well, and that's fundamental to how you make it to that top level. And in many ways, it is that sort of war of attrition. And right now, we can see it looks like Lauren may have been able to squeeze out a little bit more of a lead.
That might be too far, I think.
And the question is, I think, me personally, that Tabea still has an opportunity. There's still a lot of time left in this race. But right now, the lead is getting to the point where she has to do something to counter.
Now, I know you said earlier you don't want to get off your rhythm, but gosh, she's got to be feeling good right now, huh, Akil?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, every time I'm like, oh, it looks like she may be slowing down a little bit, she sort of makes a move or maintains that speed or has the ability to really push through.
The rhythm has not slowed down. Now, I'm excited to see how she handles that turn.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so you might see a little bit of bobble here or there. I don't know. But these are professionals. This is the highest level you can get at our sport. And she's representing us very, very well here.
Yeah, and with these wonderful conditions on this beautiful fall day, Lauren O'Connor from the USA is really showing with gusto how to move a boat. You can really see she's got a great catch, a little turn there. You can see remaining low in the shoulders, as you mentioned, really driving those legs down and accelerating through that finish.
Wow. There's
nice,
USA.
clean finishes. There you go. Team USA here at the Lenny Peters Cup 2005.
Oh, you see the grimace in her face. Oh, yeah. It's getting tough. It's getting tough, Akil. Now, we wanted to point out here, you saw this single sculler that she was rowing past earlier. So in a head race, you're going to see a lot of overlapping, especially today. There's going to be boats of this quality, this speed, passing others. I hope he understands how great she was rowing past him. That guy, I hope he got a good look at what great sculling is. But, you know, one thing I love, and I want spectators to understand, she's keeping calm, but she is under a lot of strain right now. Her body is aching. Her heart rate is probably at 90% max, yet she looks calm as can be. Can you talk a little bit about that, about the difference between looking calm and what we go through as rowers?
Yeah, there's all types of sort of analogies about never let them see you sweat or, you know, and so on. But I think the key is that you want to maintain efficiency and sort of the grimacing, all of the things, these extra things, they take away from that focus of exerting yourself maximally. And so right now, we have a flip in the race. Lauren is going to have to avoid this.
So this adds to a whole other layer of this competition, and let's talk about that. We're coming into the big turn here with that awesome duck, but she's going to these athletes are going to have people in their way, right? And now, what? I guess a way to win this thing is to be calm in that environment, right?
Yeah. Now, let's just, just going back, hopefully we're going to get, so people aren't worried, hopefully we'll get somebody out to help that the sculler that has flipped. We are taught as scullers how to get back in the boat right away. The boats act as flotation devices. So right there, you can see there treading water a little bit. Nothing too much for the athletes in the Lenny Peters Cup, USA versus the world challenge to worry about, but definitely just something that is there outside of your periphery. As Lauren comes in, you can see here to make
she's spotting her turn, right? She's really surveying the land here, what she needs to do, and you could see it as soon as she hits this one yellow buoy, she's moving.
Yeah,
and we talked about it before in the sculling. In a sweep 8, you have nothing to really worry about. Your coxswain it's their job to get you around that buoy, and sometimes they'll say, "Hey, bowman, drop out," or "What, power over." This is all on her shoulders, and just like in the men's youth, I mean, she's handling this thing beautifully. She's not off her rhythm either. You see that? She's staying steady.
So one thing you may have noticed if you're watching this race, one thing that Lauren did that's a little bit different is she managed to drag that oar in the water as she made that initial turn to sort of slow her down and give her that turn. And so it's a technique that you can use. There's different techniques for making that turn. Here you can see Tabea is working hard coming around that turn as well.
We notice her body language.
And we'll see.
She's struggling right now, and it's hard. I mean, it's not to discredit. I mean, she's a wonderful international athlete, but man, this isn't easy, Akil.
Yeah, at no level is 4,800 meters easy of racing, especially when you have competition that is highly trained. And so right now what you'll see is that, to take nothing away from her, she's just not as relaxed as Lauren. And it looks like it's just a little bit harder.
Well, look at the shoulders, right? So the folks out here that get a chance to watch this great rowing, just notice the differences in the two athletes. Lauren has that sizable lead because her shoulders are relaxed. She's keeping up with the rhythm, and it's just so important at racing this kind of distance that you maintain that control, Akil, breathing and relaxed shoulders.
Yeah. Now, having coached a few people, I tend to give athletes a little bit more leeway. And I say, people use the tools that they have. I've seen the great rower Jim Dietz. Oh. If you ever watched him row, it was not a thing of beauty, but he moved a boat. So when I am discussing athletes, I give them a little bit of grace sometimes. But I think that you're right. To me, the key is, even no matter what you're doing, does it look relaxed? Does it look efficient? Does it look as though this is something that you can maintain for a long time? And with Lauren, that's what we saw. Going back to your analogy, it was that metronome. It was that tick-tock of just executing the stroke, pushing the legs down, that really allowed her to establish a dominant lead off the start.
This is wonderful for her. I mean, she's got to be – she knows this is hers to lose at this point. And we have great weather. We have great water. It's unlikely that she's going to fail at this, but we were talking about it. But we got a bunch of singles here right behind her. She's definitely going to catch them before the turn, and that plays into more of this race. There's so many obstacles beyond the turns, beyond the ducks. You actually have rowing boats to get around, and she's probably going to approach them, in the next 45 seconds to a minute.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You had this top fleet. You had the U.S., you had Germany, and you have Kateryna Maistrenko from the Ukraine, who's actually been in the 8 that has won here.
Wow.
And so it's interesting to see this whole diversity of athletes from, all over the world competing.
So I'm excited for Lauren to be coming around the turn with this big crowd here building up along the shoreline, and we're going to make sure that we cheer for what Lauren has been able to accomplish here. And I hope that everyone here watching can get a lot of pride in what she's putting on here. She's putting on a clinic.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to get a little bit of hype here for Team USA as Lauren makes that turn. We will let you know up in the stands representing our country. She finished 10th at World Championships in Shanghai this year. Coming off that finish, this has really got to feel good. A great way to start the fall head race season for Lauren.
Yeah, like you said, this is not just for a trophy. This is for some money here. This is a big deal. This is something that you don't see a whole lot of here in rowing. And man, she's a couple hundred meters away,
and cooking nonetheless. And so, as you have this great shot of the golf course over there, you get to see from this drone footage the distances that have started to become established. And, I thought this was going to be a little bit more pressure from Tabea. But I am really happy and proud of the work that Lauren is doing here.
Great shot of the scale of this regatta in this space. 4,800 meters is a long way, Akil. It's a long way. And that shot right there just shows how long it really is.
That is true. And, it's interesting because we have head races that are they're different distances, but for the most part, I'll translate this into to miles. They're around like 3 miles or something like that, right? So you have these races, and so you have the head of the Charles, which is like 47.6 or something like that. And so this is definitely, and there you go, another shot of Lauren. She is cranking it through. You can see her moving fast. You have Tabea, who's just past the duck. Lauren has just passed and is coming up.
Yeah, they're still just behind that last turn, so we haven't quite seen them yet. This is the last batch of some single scullers coming through.
My apologies there. I got a little excited going back and forth between the finish line and the monitor here.
I'm going to plead ignorance here. I don't know why it's 4,800 meters. Akil, is there any history of why head racing is that length?
Well, once upon a time there was Julian Hedgemus who started. No, I have no idea.
Come on.
What do I know? But we are back here, and there you go, a great sort of overhead drone shot. Here we go. You can see Lauren pass the yellow duck of Bethany Medical, such a great and instrumental part of the High Point community. It's going to pass by the big yellow duck, who looks like a little bit off kilter there. Maybe partied a little bit much.
A little long last night.
Yeah, and that finish line is right in her sights now. You can see Tabea here if you're on the shore. That is Lauren O'Connor of Team USA.
Yeah, that's right. There we go.
Rowing, finishing strong
Incredible.
through the finish of the Lenny Peters Cup.
And coming in just under 19 minutes. That's just impressive.
There you go. And she has finished the race. And here you have Tabea from Team Germany. Tabea Schendekehl. And she is finishing strong right now, getting out nice and long all the way through the finish.
And like we said, it's the never give up mentality, right? She kept on going, and it's a great thing for these young athletes to see that even if she's behind, she knows she's not getting first place, but she's still putting on a show. She's still putting in the pressure and the time. That's one lesson rowing has absolutely taught me in my career, is that never give up mentality.
That is 100% true, and you can see that in Kateryna Maistrenko here, who has passed the Bethany Medical sign and is going past the big duck to finish up this race, and she is finishing up strong.
And look at the other athletes cheering her on.
Yeah.
See that? Waiting for her to finish.
And here you go. Kateryna Maistrenko is going to cross the finish line of this 2025 Lenny Peters Cup and High Point Autumn-Fall Rowing Festival.
There it is.
And there it is.
Hopefully the crowd can get a nice round of applause for these incredible athletes.
Well done, well done. And, you know, I think that I thought that might have been a little bit tighter. You know, I know it's always tough, and that's the thing about these sort of head race, sprint races where you start off side by side. There's a lot of excitement there. So,
well, it just shows the importance of getting that lead early. I mean, we've seen that now in 2 singles races.
Yes.
That the athlete that got that lead early has held on to it. And maybe that's food for thought for these future rowers here today, is get that lead, especially in that sprint race. Now, you know, going back to Henley, so you commentate Henley, you've competed in it many times in your career. I liken it to that because a lot of the times you get that early lead, it's real hard to climb back.
Yeah, and it's the side by side. It's a different feeling than when you, and there you go, as you spoke about, a great shot of the 3 competitors there in the Lenny Peters Cup. You know, Dr. Lenny Peters, just an icon in the High Point community. Started out, you know, dirt floors in India, made it all the way over here to the U.S. With Bethany Medical and his foundation are
this community is very lucky
giving
to have had
back.
him.
Very, you know, in a big way.
Now, these 3 national team level athletes are going to be coming here across our banks. And, again, I want to make sure that the crowd here really shows their appreciation and gives them a big applause when they get close here. You need that. You need that excitement. You need that energy after competing for 19 minutes.
That is correct. So it's really, really, there you go. Look at that shot right there.
Man.
And, you know, I think that especially in the single, you have a situation where you're by yourself. Mm-hmm. So your competitors are actually your team. And even though you're on the water
I never heard
and
that
you're
before.
competing against each other, like when you're off the water, like that's your people. That's who you're hanging out with. You know, it's funny, you know, I would be there with Olaf Tufta and Istok Cop, and we would be hanging out, and, you know, on the water, it's race time. But when it's over, you know, we're taking care of our stuff, and so we're helping each other out in things like that. And so
is that like is it the same thing in, say, a men's or women's 8s and 4s? Do you get that same sense of that camaraderie, or is it really specific to single scullers?
I've seen it across different teams. And to be fair, not every single sculler is like that, right? Like, not every single sculler wants to be friends with the rest of the crowd.
How about this right here?
And,
there they are. Look at that. Yeah, we got to get a big round of applause, everybody.
Yeah, they're coming in right now.
Unbelievable.
You can see them. Let's get some cheering going for, yeah. Here we have a great racing from Kateryna Maistrenko, representing the Ukraine. Tabea Schendekehl from Germany, and the USA's Lauren O'Connor. Yeah. Nice job, Lauren. There you go.
Oh, I got to smile. I can't stop smiling. Look at that.
It's funny because Lauren and I were talking about buying boats earlier, so maybe we have a little bit to find a little discount and see what we can do now.
I do appreciate what you put everybody in the same model, the same single. Yeah. So there's no, it comes down to the athlete. There's no advantages or disadvantages. Nice approach here for this regatta.
Yeah, and it just makes it easier, too, in terms of getting here and what the athletes have to bring and what you have to do. So I love this. This is actually a format that they take in Coastal as well, where they handle bringing the boats, and everybody's rowing in sort of the same or a similar boat.
This